Yeah, what is going on, everybody? I'm back. This is your host, Rob. Like I just said, I'm back with another episode of From My Experience Podcast. And my King of Fighters ringtone went off. Listen, I'm solo dolo, right? Shout out to Biff. She got some stuff going on. Tori, I have no idea where you are, so I'm fussing at you because you said you was going to be on. Alex said he had a long day at work, so I know how that goes. But I want to talk to y'all about making sure people don't take advantage of your value, okay? So this is really important for people who are younger. You have to understand the difference between utilizing what you have to get to a next level, to get higher, and taking the L to get what you want, versus you already being in a position of deserving or worthiness or something you've earned, but someone's not giving you your just due. Whatever that just due may be. It may be money, it may be recognition, it could be a lot of things, right? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the things I went through, and I'm going to tell you about who helped me realize the way I need to, I guess, view things and really understand when people are trying to take advantage. So one thing about me, I am a very nice person, and I tend to give people my all, right? So with that comes a couple of things. You're going to get people who genuinely appreciate that, and they're going to care, and they're going to be grateful, and you'll be able to tell. And you're also going to get people who say, ooh, I wonder how much juice I can squeeze out of this piece of fruit, right? It's hard to recognize which is which when you're younger, but once you get older, the easiest way to really recognize it is to see if it's being reciprocated. So, and reciprocation can look very different depending on who it is. They may be doing the exact same thing back to you, keeping that same energy, as we like to say, or they may be reciprocating it in their own way, you know. But that comes down to how well you know that person as well. Now, as far as being taken advantage of when it comes to your talents, this is heavily work related. So I am very non-confrontational. The reason I'm non-confrontational is because I'm very black and white. Either we're going to do it or we're not. Either we're going to fight or we not. I'm not about the whole trash talk back. I'm not very big on back and forth. I'm like, all right, which direction we going in? Because I feel like all the other stuff in between is a waste of time. If something, calls for a discussion, I'm up for a discussion. But I'm very 0 to 100. I'm like, what we gonna do? Right? So that's number one, straight to the point. Number two, I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not good at. And I know how to ask questions and speak up and get down to it, right? So a lot of employers see that, and you may be in an entry-level position or whatnot, and when they see that you shine a bit brighter than the rest, or you have something to offer more than the rest, typically you're going to get treated differently. Whether they accelerate your training or give you added responsibility or make you a group leader. And some of them genuinely are doing it to groom you, and some of them are just doing it because it's one less thing that they have to do. But I started to notice that was happening to me a lot. And I started noticing that because I guess my maturity level and experience, people would put me in that position. But the issue is, have you hired, Johnny off the street? Are you going to give him that same energy? Because our paychecks look the same, but our job descriptions are very different. So this is where you have to be careful, because if it's a position where, hey, I'm just doing this temporary part-time, you already know what it is. I'm not, at this stage in my life, I'm not really feeling you adding more responsibility or duties to my plate because I can do it, but you're not keeping that same energy with everybody else, yet our paychecks look the same. Like, I'm like this. Look, if you feel like I'm valued more, then you need to treat me as such. because you want me to treat you as such. Hey, I see I can get a little bit extra out of him. I'm going to squeeze him. All right, cool. I need you to open up that bank account then. And it took me a while to really realize and understand how hard I was working for other people, but it wasn't being reciprocated. And I think probably the first time I truly caught it and realized it was in real estate, when my broker, he trained me, he groomed me. He told me he saw something in me. He saw the potential. Cool. But he didn't take advantage of it. He helped me. He explained to me what he saw and what I was capable of. Because sometimes you don't even realize it. So I'm like, yeah, all right. But he trained me and he groomed me. And he put me in a position to do more and to do better than the average person, which was his form of reciprocation. He reciprocated it. I wasn't on the same level as everyone else because I'd earned a different spot. So he put me in that position because I earned it. He saw the potential. He knew I was, for lack of a better word, too good for certain things. I was like, nah, no, I'm not putting you over. I'm putting you over here. And that's when I really came to a big realization of, oh, shoot, I need to get paid for this, or I deserve more. Like, it's the difference between feeling like it because you've been somewhere for so long or such, versus really sitting down and understanding your skill set and what you're capable of and saying, I'm worth more. I'm going to misquote the Joker in the Batman movie, Heath Ledger's Joker, when he said, when you're good at something, never do it for free. He said something to that effect. I believe it was in a Dark Knight movie. He said something to that effect. And I feel him on that. But I also feel Charlemagne the God, shout out to Uncle Charla, who said every opportunity is not attached to a paycheck. So there's a fine line. So let me give y'all an example of both of those. We're good at something, never do it for free. And also, every opportunity is not attached to a paycheck. So back when I was a teacher, I used to DJ the school events, some of them for free, right? Why did I do that? 1, I was just starting out. 2, my equipment wasn't that good. 3, I didn't know my value. 4, I needed exposure, right? So I didn't care about the money. I wanted exposure because the exposure would get me more opportunity, which would get me money. Fast forward a few years later, when I'm no longer teaching, they reach out, hey, do you still DJ? Yeah. But now I need some bread. So I'm good at this now. I've upgraded. I'm better than I was before. Now I didn't have to crack them over the head or anything, but now I'm past that phase of I'm doing this for free, And there's certain things you gotta pick and choose when it comes to that, or discount. Nothing wrong with a discount. Free is a bit much, but I think you should keep that same energy at work. Don't be afraid to talk to a supervisor or manager or whoever to say, hey, I noticed that y'all are having me do a bit more than the norm. What do y'all see in my future, in the very near future? Because I want more. Like, I don't think it's cool. I'm kind of dealing with that now. I've kind of been put in an accelerated position, and I don't feel like I'm being set up for success. I feel like I'm being taken advantage of at this point because it's like, well, we don't have to work that hard with him because he's getting it. He's smart. We can tell he's sharp. Okay, that's cool, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't show me the same thing you would show someone else who has less skill. Like, walk me through these steps. Give me an opportunity to master some of these things versus showing me something a couple times and thinking, all right, he's straight. Let's go to the next thing. All right, he's straight. Nah, just because I can reciprocate it, an hour later, 2 hours later, and maybe the next day doesn't mean I've mastered it and I'm fully comfortable. So that kind of frustrates me when people try to take what you're good at and just say, oh, you'll be fine. Yeah, I see, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. No, there's layers and there's levels to this. You know, it's not instant. Sorry, checking something. It's not instant, and I still need an opportunity and room to grow. You know, just because someone has the potential to do something or they've shown you a couple things doesn't mean that they're completely ready just for you to let go, or completely ready for you to throw them out there. I say, oh, all right, go learn. Here you go. You know, it's funny. I've had this thing where I take sayings, you know, popular sayings, and I kind of flip them a little bit. And one of the ones is, you know, someone today said, you know, yeah, we just kind of just throw you out in the water, and then, you know, that's how you learn. When you're on your own, that's how you learn. And you know, I flipped that because in my head, that's not how I learn. That's how you teach. That's how you decide to teach someone. That's not a learning decision. That's a teaching decision, because you all made the decision to put me in a position to where I was by myself, right? So in order for me to learn, I had to get frustrated. I had to get angry. I had to get upset and learn through my emotional response to your teaching methodologies. Now, I know that's a bit much, but it's the truth. You know, if you have, there's a difference between you having a child and you take 2 or 3 days and teach him a little bit about fishing. Then you go to the river on Saturday and say, all right, I need you to catch me a bass. Bye. And you leave him there. You know, it's not that he's learning by, you know, being on his own and you just throwing him out there. That's how you're deciding to teach him. You know, he's going to learn from sticking that, you know, hooking his hand a couple times, or casting the line wrong, or tying up the line, things of that nature. The flip side is, you know, hey, you know what, Dad, you showed me a couple of these lessons. Let me go try to do this by myself. I want to take what you've shown me and let me go try this by myself. I'm comfortable enough to try this by myself. I think I got this. So now you're choosing to learn on your own. You see the difference? Someone's actually electing and saying, all right, let me go try to swim in this deep end, versus you drop kicking them into the pool. There's a huge difference, and there's a huge mentality shift too. Because, you know, I used to hear that growing up. You know, you teach someone to swim by throwing them in the water. No, you teach someone to drown by throwing their ass in the water. No. You know, you teach someone to swim by putting floaties on them, teaching them how to trade water, kick your feet, you know, paddle your arms, or whatever that's called with your arms. And you get them comfortable. And then eventually they'll say, hey, I'm ready to take these floaties off. Okay, cool. I feel like I can get back and forth. Hey, can we try the deep end? You know, all right, now I want you to get out of the pool. Let me get in the pool by myself. So I think there's give and take. But I'm off on a tangent. So I'm going to hit some of the topics we were supposed to talk about tonight. I'm not going to hit them all, but I'm going to hit a couple because, yeah. All right, Jermaine Dupri and his comments about the female rap game, and him saying, wow, hold up. In a nutshell, because I don't feel like quoting him, and I'm pretty sure y'all heard what he said. He thinks they rap. He said, what he's hearing is, this sounds like a bunch of strippers rapping, and he can't really tell who's shining, who's the best. To me, that says, Jermaine Dupri, what are you listening to? Now, I, for one, do not listen to female rap like that. If I had to pick a favorite female rap artist right now, it'd be Rhapsody, because Layla's Wisdom was an awesome album, and Roller Coaster Love is one of my favorite songs of all time. And bar for bar, I think I'm highly confident that she could take on any female in the rap game, and most of the guys as well. if not all of them. That if you're looking for content, Jermaine Dupri, I know you're never gonna hear this, but if you're looking for content, that's where you need to go. Are there other dope MCs out there? Yes. I don't know them because I am stuck in the early 90s to the mid 2000s when it comes to my music anyway. And music comes out so fast, it's hard for me to consume it because I don't have time to listen to it and enjoy it. But I'm going to start making more time for that. I think someone with his experience in the music game, I think he made that statement on purpose to cause some stuff because there's no way he's that dumb. There's no way he's that ignorant to what is going on in hip hop if this is what he does. If he is something, somebody need to go holler at their boy. And it's funny. I heard some people say, well, some of these rappers, female rappers did come from stripping and did come from similar lifestyles, which is true. Just like a lot of the dude rappers rap about a lot of the same things because they came from similar backgrounds and similar lifestyles. But I think he's missing the separation. Like when you look at male hip hop, I hate to even divide it. Hip hop is one thing to me, but since we're talking about male, female, when you look at male hip hop, there's categories of dudes. You have your Nas, J. Cole, Kendrick, Talib Kweli type rappers. And then you have your Jay-Z's, your Big Sean's, I'm trying to put people in there that's like Jay-Z, but I'm not trying to compare them directly, but you have categories. There's Gucci Mane, T.I., Young Jeezy, Lil Baby. Like you have a bunch of different types. The lanes of male rappers I think are far more defined because they've always been the more prominent ones, and there's so many of them and such a variety. You hear it, so it's a oversaturation of it. Whereas with the females, I think part of the issue may be is that whoever's the most popular gets all the shine. Like for a while, I felt like Nicki Minaj was the only female rapper. She was winning female artist of the year, blah blah blah. She won that thing like 600 times in a row. And when they would name the other female rappers who got nominated, I didn't know who they were because their songs weren't on the radio and people weren't playing, So I think exposure is a huge deal when it comes to that because there's only, honestly, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Rhapsody, Meg Thee Stallion. And I'm just a casual, I don't even listen to the radio, but just through social media and what I've seen and bounced back and forth on, those are the only ones I can even name. I can't name the other chick. She's the brown skinned chick who always causes Iggy Azalea. I think that's her name. I think she raps still. No, not Iggy Azalea. Somebody. But anyway, she's not that. No, that's, I think. Yeah, no, that's not her. Azalea Banks. That's who I was thinking of. Well, Iggy Azalea, Azalea Banks. So that's 6. But there's more. No shade to them. I just don't know y'all. So I think the female rapper field just needs more exposure. So statements like the ones Jermaine Dupri made won't just set everything on fire. He made a valid statement in the sense that if you can't tell, then that means there's a big issue with promotion and exposure and all that good stuff. But anywho, if you're a female rapper and you're listening, shout out to Fave. Love you, Fave. Yeah, I hope you get your just due. I hope y'all quit responding to Jermaine Dupri, please. Just keep focusing on your music. Because, I mean, really? Come on, man. We know better than that. 2 more things and I'm going to get up out of here, honestly. Actually, a couple more things. 2 and a couple is the same thing. Yo, so, about y'all wanting to storm Area 51. Like, who starts all these sensationalized things? Like, for real. Fam, y'all need to relax. Storming Area 51. Y'all, don't do it. Don't get shot. I'm done with that. I bought a book. Ramit Sethi, whatever his name is. I was listening to a podcast, right? I'm going to give y'all shout out to my boy CV. We both have, this is why I love my friends too. We both got two very different things from this podcast interview. So James Altucher, he was on the Brilliant Idiots. So I'm gonna challenge y'all if you're listening to this. That's Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz podcast. Go to the Brilliant Idiots podcast if you listen to podcasts and listen to the July 4th episode with James Altucher, right? This guy, and this is just me. When I listen to people, I basically put on a lens. You know, when I'm trying to listen for information and learning, I'm not looking for the fault. Like, I'm just taking in what you're saying. I'm trying to take in what you're saying for my benefit, for how I can apply something that you may say to my life to make my life better or easier, right? Go listen to that episode on the Brilliant Idiots. So in his episode with the Brilliant Idiots, right, he talks about how he went from being flat broke to making over $1 million to going flat broke to making over $1 million to going flat broke. He did it like 5 times. He became and unbecame a millionaire 5 times. And he goes through his ups and downs and what he did wrong and how he learned. He's making multi-million-dollar mistakes, right? Now, granted, the average person is not going to make $1 million, blah, blah, blah. But what I got from that interview was, you know, things aren't always as bad as we think they are. And rich people got problems too. And it was interesting, you know, granted, I don't know him personally, but it's interesting that, you know, a lot of what we relate to wealth, things like networking, communication, marketing, exposure, stuff like that. According to him, he did none of that. Like, this guy had no friends. He wasn't really cool with anybody. You know, basically his reputation for his business, I guess, the little bit of business savvy that he did have carried him, basically, which was interesting. Because I'm, like I said, you know, I'm introverted. I network. I talk with some people, but I'm not the best at it, right? So his story kind of really appealed to me because I'm like, wow, I saw some similarities in personality traits that I could relate to, and it gave me a bit more confidence. Not that I didn't have confidence, but it gave me more because I'm like, if this guy can go through what he went through and still make it back, I can do better for myself. You know, it's one day at a time, not stuff that happens overnight, right? Like, this guy even thought about committing suicide. Like, literally said on the show, like, I lost everything. Like, I was thinking my kids would be better off with the money instead of me. Like, those kind of conversations, when someone sounds like, again, I don't know him personally, it sounded like he was keeping it 100. And that, I'm attracted to authenticity. Someone keeping it real. Stop selling me a story. Stop giving me the same speech I've heard from several other people. Stop quoting all these other famous people who did it, but you ain't did it yet. Stop, you know, hit me with these, you know, textbook business strategies and all. Like, it gets so old and so boring and overwhelming. You sound rehearsed. You sound like you read from a script. You're just trying to play on my personality type and my mentality to get me to do something that I can do on a 9 to 5, but you're trying to convince me to do it for myself, but your approach is all wrong, so I won't do it for myself, because instead of you sounding like, hey, Robert, take the best of you and make the best out of it, you're saying, hey, take this proven method I have right here, even though you don't fit into this box, you know, I'm going to put you in this box anyway, and we're going to build, you know, a mountain off of this box. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Well, again, I'm probably messing his name up. Ramit Sethi was on James Altucher's show, right? So James Altucher has his own podcast. And let me see what episode it was. Episode 469 and 470. He did 2 parts with this guy. And the guy has a book. Ramit has a book called I Will Teach You to Be Rich. No guilt, no excuses, no BS, just a 6-week program that works. Now, maybe he got me, maybe he didn't. We'll see. But from listening to their conversation, it was enlightening for me. It wasn't the textbook scripted crap that I'm used to hearing, that I've heard a million times, that just doesn't move me. It sounded like 2 people having a real conversation. And the biggest thing is, both of these guys are successful in their own right, in their own way, whatever. I mean, whatever you consider success, you know. But I mean, they're financially well off. Let's just say that. And they only agreed on a few things. Like, there were things that they had completely 180-degree views on, but they were both successful. And it was beautiful, because usually when you see 2 successful people, oh yeah, I believe in that principle too. Oh yeah, such and such said this and quoted that. They sound like a mirror image of each other. Versus 2 people, 2 different backgrounds, 2 different methodologies, 2 different ways of thinking, yet they were able to meet their own level of success, right? So what that did for me was, I'm like, yo, that's some real talk. I like what this guy was saying. The guy had a book, and I don't even like to read. But listening to it and him, you know, explaining how he wrote, first of all, he did a second edition of the book. He wrote I Will Teach You How to Be Rich, and then he made a second edition where he added 90 more pages of content, because he learned and he grew and wanted to share with people. And basically, what the book does, it teaches you or talks to you about learning how to focus and pay more attention to what you're going to do when you get that lifestyle. He said most people don't think past the first couple minutes, you know, of what you would do if you could have anything you wanted or go on your key vacation. You could ask someone, oh, I want to go here. Okay, great. You want to go here. And what are you going to do when you get there? I want to swim at the ocean. What hotel are you going to stay at? Because we don't spend time exploring it. We don't spend time looking into it. That appealed to me too, because I do deep dive research. Like, I want a motorcycle one day. I already know the brand. I already know the equipment I want to wear. I already know the tracks I want to ride on. I already know the roads I want to explore. I already know the type of videos I want to record. Like, I've already played it out in my head. Like, when I'm in position to buy this bike, it's going to be boom, 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 boom. You know, I have more DJ equipment that I want to buy. And when I buy it, I already know what I'm going to do with it. Boom, 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 boom. So the mentality that he was talking about, I kind of have. Like, when I think about, oh, one day I'm going to do this, I go all the way into the thought. You know, like, I want my honeymoon to be in Tahiti, and I want to stay in the hut on the water, and I want to go snorkeling, and I want to build a bonfire on the beach, and I want to make sweet love while we look at the ocean underneath our hut. All that good stuff. Like, these are things I think deeply into, but I think some of us just scratch the surface with those thoughts because we don't really believe we can do it or that we will do it, which is why I think we stop. But anywho, he says 6 weeks to financial control. So it says, week 1, optimize your credit cards, learn exactly what to say to get overdraft fees waived and rack up rewards. 2, set up no fee, high interest bank accounts that won't gouge you. Open a Roth IRA or 401k. Learn how to save hundreds of dollars a month and still save enough to buy what you love. That is important. I think a lot of us don't save because we feel like we can't do anything. We can't spend. But in reality, saving allows you to spend more and spend more on what you love. And that's what one of the things he talked about that I really loved. Was stop creating a budget for things you don't love. Why are you allocating money towards things you don't love or don't really like or don't want to do? Why? Like, I like a really good burger, right? I love a good burger. And some people may kill me for this. Say what you want. Applebee's, if there's one thing Applebee's can do, them mugs can make a really good burger, right? I love an Applebee's burger. But sometimes I'll go to Wendy's and get a burger. Sometimes I go to McDonald's and get a burger. Sometimes I might even go to a Burger King to get a burger. But I love Applebee's burgers. So, and if you look at it price-wise, Applebee's burger may be a little bit, more expensive. Maybe if I go in there and get burgers and fries, it may be $12. But if I go to McDonald's or one of these other places, it may be $8. But am I really going to let $4 be the difference between doing what I can do to get by just to satisfy it, sort of? Or can I go get what I really want and go ahead and spend the extra $4? And they also talk about that theory of how some very rich people are frugal. Like, hey, if you buy a latte every day, that's $4. So if you take 4 and you multiply that by 5 times a week, how much money is that? That's $20 a week. Oh, if there's 4 weeks in a month, or 3 weeks. I like to say there's 4 weeks in a month. I don't know why people say 3, but I'll say let's say 3. Oh, that's 20 times 3. That's $30 a month you could be saving. But yo, I want this latte. This latte brings me a little bit of joy, a little bit of happiness. And he's like, hey, get all the lattes you want. I'm like, oh, I like this guy. This guy's encouraging me to save and do better for myself and do what I want while I'm doing it. That's what made me buy this book, because everyone else always make you think you have to make all these grand sacrifices. You can't do anything. You got to cut this habit, cut that habit, cut this habit, cut that habit in order to get to the point B. So it's like, God, saving money and getting, up to whatever this goal is sounds like it's going to be miserable on the way up. And this guy is saying the opposite. Hey, just focus more on doing these principles, doing these steps, and do what you love on your way up the ladder. I like that. That's a different approach I never heard before. Week 5, he says, automate your accounts so they work together. Week 6, see how investing in the single most important way to get rich. See how investing is the single most important way to get rich and create a portfolio of your own. Immediately after listening to that podcast, if you don't have this app, ladies and gentlemen, and no, I'm not sponsored, Robinhood. Robinhood is a stock market app. It's easy to set up. Actually, I think when you set it up, they give you a free stock when you start. And if you invite friends, you can also get a free stock. That app is how I started investing in the stock market. Am I rich? Absolutely not. Am I making any money? Absolutely. Wait, I might have made like a couple dollars. Not anything significant or like, oh my gosh, I'm rich. But I told myself, I wanted to start investing and learning about the stock market. I actually lost $1.25 today. But I have I don't even have any significant money in there anyway, but it was a baby step I took years ago. I downloaded the app and I had it for years before I used it. But it's funny, after hearing him talk, I went on the app and I made a couple of moves. And I sold some stock and invested in a different stock, which is interesting. But I just want to throw that out there. That's a tool for any of you who want to get started the easy way into investing. Do that. Look at some of these stocks. Look at some of these companies. They're interesting. Look at your Targets and your Walmarts and your Apples and all that, and look at what those stocks are worth. Long-term investment. But I digress. So I liked where he was coming from. The book was $10 on Amazon. And I said to myself, I'm going to read this book and see if I can apply some of these principles. Now, I know some of you probably heard what I just said about this 6-week program and were like, bruh, I've heard that before, blah, blah, blah. Some of these things we got to do, though. We all want to see our credit card debt burn in hell. We all hate overdraft fees. Dealing with the right bank is very important. Very, very important, too. But I'm not going to get into all that. I just encourage y'all to go listen to those podcasts. And as you can see, I'm on here talking about it like it's my book, and I'm promoting this guy's stuff for him. Maybe that was the whole scheme all along. Who knows? Maybe I fell for it. But you know what? honestly, from listening to that podcast, I got something personally from it, and I grew from it, and I actually made some life changes already. So I got what I was supposed to get, and I only spent $10 on this book afterwards. I think that's a small price to pay from what I learned from just the conversation. I can't wait to see what I learned from the book. But anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here. I did say I had a couple of things to talk about, and I think that qualifies as a couple. But I want to encourage y'all to do something as well. Continue to learn and grow. You know, whether you're 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50, whatever. Bro, there's always something new you can learn. There's always a way you can enhance yourself. There's always a way for you to make a change. You have to want to make the change, though. Like I said, I don't read that much. I don't read at all, really, unless it's an online article. But I'm going to read this book. Like, I listen to podcasts, and I take things from podcasts, and I apply them to my mentality in life if they stick. And this book is one of those things that stuck, man. I just really connected with it. So I said, oh, let me buy a book. That's something different for me. Man, I can't tell y'all the last time I bought a book. I think the last book I bought was Teach Me How to Love. Shout out to Tori Spry. That's the last book I bought. That's a good book too. Y'all need to do that. If you're out freshly out of a relationship and you're trying to rebalance yourself and look at what you want in life, or even if you are in a relationship and y'all want to see how compatible you are and you want to learn more about the way your mate thinks, Teach Me How to Love, Tori Spry. Go get that on Amazon right now. That's the last book I bought. Because once again, that was someone who I liked what they were saying and they influenced me. But start utilizing tools that are going to help your nugget grow. That thing in between your ears grow. Because the more you surround yourself with positivity and positive people and positive influence and things that change, your mentality, the closer you'll get to your goals. I promise you. I promise you that. So, thank y'all for listening. Y'all know we on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud for now, Google Play Music, Anchor, and a bunch of other places where you can listen to podcasts. Check the description below for all of our Instagrams. We are FME_podcast on Instagram. The Facebook group From My Experience Podcast is very explosive. I have a topic on there. I want y'all to go on the Facebook group because there is a hot topic in there. I'm not going to discuss it because I think it'd be better served with the group. But there's a hot topic in there, and I would love for y'all to join up into the group and read that thing and share your opinion on that. You can follow me on Instagram. Complete_vision is my personal Instagram. I'm going to post Tori's and Biff's and Alex's as well. If y'all have any questions, comments, you want to be a guest on the show, frommyexperiencepodcast@gmail.com. Shoot us an email. We will respond. We will get you scheduled, and we will get you on the show. I'm still working on getting some new guests. Hopefully, I will have a couple new guests soon. Thank y'all for the continued support, man. This has been a journey, a ride, and I have definitely enjoyed sharing this with you all. What episode are we on? Let me see here. I'm gonna do it quick. This is 116 or 17. Ooh, yeah, this will be episode 117. Our plays are going up, man. It feels good. It feels good to know that people are listening. Hopefully all y'all are learning something or taking something positive away from this. And don't be greedy. Don't be selfish, man. Tell your friends about it. Repost it. Share it. And I also encourage y'all to go back and listen to some old episodes. So if you're new, go back and listen to some old episodes, man. Not just for the listens or for the plays. We talked about some really good stuff. And a lot of times when we move on to future episodes, we revisit those. But I think we talk about some really good stuff, and y'all should go back and listen to those old episodes as well to catch up on some things and to learn some good stuff. But I wish y'all peace and blessings. I challenge you to grow. I want y'all to go listen to those podcasts and, feel free to hit me up and tell me what you learned. Maybe you thought it was trash and the guy's full of it. Maybe you learned something like I learned. Maybe it influenced you positively. Or maybe you thought it was boring as crap and you didn't even finish listening to it. All that good stuff. I don't mind. I want to hear from y'all. But we will see y'all next week. Y'all have a good one. Peace.